Every month, I break down my real portfolio income, not projections, not back-tested charts, the actual cash this portfolio produced. And the reason I do this isn't to flex numbers. It's because income investing looks easy when markets are calm, but it quietly exposes weaknesses when conditions change. This month, some funds did exactly what they were supposed to, and others didn't. And if you're building income for early retirement or financial independence, these details matter more than the headline yield. A lot of income portfolios look great right up until they quietly fail. Let's see if mine passed the test this month. So stay tuned. Welcome back to Simply Money. So today we're doing the monthly income portfolio update for January 2026. For those joining me for the first time, thank you for coming to Simply Money. What I do on this series is we look at my income portfolio and we break it down. We look at the different funds, what kind of distributions it's paid. We look at each week's payments and then its cumulative payments, and we'll compare that to prior months. I appreciate you joining, and if you find this video informative and helpful, please hit that like and subscribe button. It helps us get more videos out to other people. And if you like the charts that I use, you can find those on the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description below. Feel free to grab a copy. I appreciate all of you that have supported the channel through that. But the best way you can support the channel is smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, and don't forget to share this on your social media with others. It really does help out. So with that being said, remember this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is for information and educational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence. All right, let's dive in. SCHD, the first of my income funds. We're not going to be really looking at that because in January it does not pay. We're looking at one thing I wanted to show you is currently the share price is at $29.37. From the last time we updated that, it was at $27.35. SCHD has been having a nice month. It's been doing really well. So we're going to keep an eye on that because a lot of analysts are very bullish on SCHD, particularly with the Feds lowering the rates, where you can get interest rates that aren't going to be as high as they were. It makes a solid dividend like SCHD more attractive for those investors. But we don't have any dividends that were paid this month, so we'll come back to that in a couple months. Let's skip over here to WPAY. This is one that's been a little disappointing for me, but I understand what's going on. It had a big drop today. Today is the 29th of January while I'm recording this. A lot of stocks and ETFs took a big hit today. WPAY has been underperforming. It's been kind of underwhelming, but I still feel good about it long term. We're looking at seeing here our balance. We're down about $1,400 since inception, since we bought it back in September. We're down about 10%. It's not horrible. It's not doing great. I'm totally reinvesting all my income. So just so you know, all of these funds, any distribution I get are just being reinvested into the same fund at this time. WPAY, again, the distributions have begun to drop quite a bit. You can see back here in November it was 45 cents, 35, 53. Now we're looking at in the 30-cent range because this price is coming down. The yield is staying the same, but because the share price is dropping, it's down 26% since when I bought into it. 53.87 was the bulk of my buy. I had some others along the way. I dollar cost averaged a little bit for a while. Not buying any more at this time. I am holding. But that is WPAY. It's paying consistently every week, but those payments are starting to drop a little bit. So we'll keep an eye on this one. I'll keep you updated if I decide to ditch it or if I just hold and just long-term see what happens. Most likely I'll hold. I'm more of a buy and hold person and just kind of ride that out till either it recovers or it dies. But we'll see. I do change my mind sometimes. Now let's go over to CHPY. CHPY has been a great performer for me. Again, the bulk of what I bought in was in September. We're looking at about $22,000 cumulative invested. We're up about $6,000 on this. The share price has increased 11%. It's currently sitting at $61.50, where when I bought in at $55.45. So we're seeing a nice return on this with share price increase as well as these dividends. We're looking at 50 cents, 52, 53, 48 over there. And we'll look at the full payments here in a moment. I have another chart that we go through. We'll look at each one of the funds and what they paid each week and then the total for the month. So don't leave until you get to that. We're going to be looking at the end of the video where we see the cumulative amount that I earned for January 2026. IWMI, a new holding I got in September, just a small amount in here. Probably going to be increasing my position in this over the next few months. I'm still looking at it, diving into it a little bit, but I feel good about small caps over the next few years, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. In this time frame, I'm up 10% on that. Again, it's a small position, so about a $660 gain. The distributions have been very consistent. The first 4 months, 59, 57, 59, and 60 cents. So we're getting those payments every month. This is a monthly payer. SCHD, for those that don't know, is a quarterly payment. WPAY and CHPY are weekly payers. IWMI is a monthly payer. And we'll get into those. And I have videos you can check out on the channel where I go over each fund more in depth. I backtest some of these funds. You can check those out if you like seeing how they're performed over their lifetime. Now we have YBTC. Now anybody in crypto knows crypto has been down since about October, November. It has been taking one of its pullbacks. But if you watch crypto over the long term, it's kind of been the consistent pattern. It'll go up, it just takes off. It is very volatile, but it'll have this long run and it'll set a new high. Then it'll pull back about 20, 30, even 40% sometimes. It'll pull back quite a bit, and then it'll take off and do another new high. And it's done that. If you look at like Bitcoin over its lifetime, it took off and then pulls back, goes to a new high and pulls back. And it feels like we're in that right now with Bitcoin, with crypto and all the cryptocurrencies. It's, got to its new high and now it's pulling back. I am still very bullish on this. These are small positions that I have in here, just a little exposure to the crypto market, but they are in their current pullback, which is fine. When I bought in, it was at 45.30. It's down 38%. You're going to see that with crypto. It's very volatile. It's a total growth right now. That's the share price. It's down 38%. The position is down 23%. But again, this is a small position in my portfolio. You'll see overall where I'm at here in a little bit. So that's YBTC. Again, if you've followed crypto at all, you understand that's how this works. And I'm not losing any sleep over that. Likewise, my other small position in crypto is blocks. This payment here, 12 cents, 13 cents, is coming in each week. Again, that $36, $37, $39 on the small position. Cumulative invested $7,000. The share price, again, is down almost 30%. The total growth, we're down 23% because we're reinvesting. We're accumulating more shares. So I'm, again, waiting and seeing. I believe it's going to go back to some new heights that we will see down the road. I'm not worried about these two, YBTC and blocks. They're accumulating shares. The share price is down. I don't need it. I'm not using it anytime soon. So I'm in an accumulation stage right now. As I get ready, the more shares I have, when I do need it, the better I will be. I'm excited about these two. I'm not going to add to them, but I'm definitely holding them. Now we're going to come to two of my favorite. These are monthly. We're going to start with QQQI. The last dividend here was 64 cents. As you look up here in this dividend row, you can see 64 cents, 64 cents, 63 cents. It has been very consistent. It has averaged 64 cents since I've had it in July. I have about $60,000 invested in that. We're sitting at about $66,000 right now. We're up about $6,000. The share price is up 2.73%. The value gained is about $6,000. I'm very happy with QQQI. I will keep owning that. I'll probably buy some here and there along the way as well, but we will continue to watch this, and I'm excited about the payments that are coming from that. And that brings us to our second one that is very similar, different market, but it's SPYI following the S&P 500. And this one here, we got in it in July. We're looking at about $57,000, $58,000 invested. The share price is up 3.38%. We're gained about $4,000 on that. So very excited with these two. Again, consistency. The Average payment's been 52 cents. You can see the last two have been 53, 53. Then back in November, it was 52. Very consistent on both QQQI and SPYI. Very consistent payments and dividends, which I like. Now, ULTY, the final one. This is the one, I've done some videos on this, like even questioning last month whether I should ditch it or not. But I've decided just to ride this one out. We're going to see what happens. As you can see, the share price is down 42%. But the growth is only down 9%. They have stabilized a little bit over the last month or so. They've made some adjustments, and they have stabilized their share price quite a bit. If you look, we're going to go back here, up here a little bit. Right here in November, you can see that it was dropping from 52 down to 42 in a matter of a month. But since November 14th, you're at $42, 39, 40, 40. It is pretty much set right in there. It's dropping a little bit, but not as drastically as it was. And these distributions have been holding a little more steady now. We were up in the 90 cents. This is post-split. So 90 cents, 84 cents. It dropped a little bit. But again, since November 14th, we have 62, 64, 59. It's came down a little bit here to 49, 48. But now we're sitting at 51, 50 cents last couple weeks. So we're doing pretty good with this. I see it beginning to recover somewhat. We'll continue to watch this, but I'm feeling okay that long term it'll all balance out. So those are the individual funds, what they're at as a total part of this income portfolio. Now we're going to look over here at my monthly income. So what I do on this chart, and this is the Simply Money dividend tracker, what I have here is the date that I was paid, what ticker paid me, and how much it paid me. Now, I want you, as those that are looking at income and wondering, why are you into income? Now, all of this is just reinvesting, but if I was to take this as income, and then I could reinvest it in different things, or reinvest part of it, or use it for living expenses. And when I go to retire, I will use some of it for income, for living expenses, and the rest I'll just reinvest where I see I want to invest, whether it's in some of my growth funds, which I don't show on here, or if it's in some of the income funds that maybe are pulling back and I want to buy them while they're cheap. But right now, you can look and see, like each week, these are the weekly payments right here in column D, and these are the individual payments. So this first week, it had $898, but as you can see, there was only a couple payments because the week actually started back here in December with blocks and WPAY. So there was $145 at the beginning of the week, but it was in December. Then we go here into January and you have $198. So you're looking at $1,045 for that week. Nice way to start out the year. And then the next week, and that's just those weekly payers coming in. The next week we had a few other payments. We're looking at $669 for the week. And I want you to look at a couple things here, like YBTC, you have 476. And we come down here, we have 71. So at the end of the year, they did a big payout. That was a big payment, and one reason why this first week was higher than it really normally would be, because the end of the year, YBTC had a big distribution. You can see down here it was $71, then $102, then $71. So this payment was much higher than normal, but I'm glad it was there and excited for it. As we look here, again, week 3, we got $723. And week 4, we love week 4 because week 4 is when the monthly payers come in as well. That was $2,209 paid. And then week 5, or partial week 5, because again, we had a partial week here. So the 5th week of payments was $703. So the full month, the payment was $5,203.91. You can see the breakout down here, each fund, what it paid. So QQQI paid almost $800, SPYI $625, IWMI $87, YBTC $808, CHPY $1,071, SCHD, 0. That's why we love our quarterly payments, because we get all this and SCHD, which is my largest holding. So we'll like that payment. We'll look at that here in a minute on the cumulative chart. Then we have ULTY coming in at $1,264. So the biggest payer of the month was ULTY. Second place, CHPY. WPAY at $400 and BLOK's at $152. So this is how I break it down, how I look at it. And I like seeing that. And what I'm going to probably add over the next couple weeks, hopefully I'll have it by next month, is where I'll put a chart out here and we can see the growth or the decline in distributions of these different funds. What we have over here in this page is the cumulative. This is the total amount for each month. I'm going to do the same thing, but for each fund. So you'll see January CHPY, January WPAY. And so you can see each fund, whether it's going up or down, and watch that trajectory. But what I want to show you here is you have your full payment of $5,204 for the month of January. You can see back here for 2025, our total is $40,217. The reason this is a lot lower than you would expect with this type of payment is I didn't switch over my big holdings in SCHD until July, and I started switching over and slowly made some acquisitions as that happened. So I didn't really start seeing those bigger payments till September, October of last year. And that's when you'll see that increasing. But what I want to show you here is you look at January. Now, it's not the highest month. Obviously, December was the highest month. So you have what happened in December is you have all the payments of all these funds and SCHD. So as things are growing, with the quarterly payment in there, SCHD comes in and causes us to be higher. That's what you see here in September and what we had in June and March. But if you look back in March, look at January and February. There was really nothing, and then I'd get a big payment. A little bit in April and May, then a big payment. But as you see, as I started transitioning into the income process, you can see that these non-quarterly months start increasing rapidly. So as I started switching over in July, it went up a little bit, but then August is when it really started hitting. In September, you had SCHD in there as well. So you can see that these quarterlies are going up, and then it really went up here. But what I want you to notice, look at August, and then look at the next non-quarterly month, October. Now, October had a lot of 5-week payments. So a lot of these weekly payers paid 5 times in this month. You can see why that really increased that compared to November, it dropped down. But look at November compared to August, still up. Now look at January compared to November. This isn't a 5-week pay, and there was a couple that paid 5 times, but most of them paid 4 times. There was no quarterly payer of SCHD. And look at where we're at. Our off quarterly month, the non-quarterly paying month, so I don't have SCHD in there, is still higher than back in March with SCHD, and almost as high as in June with SCHD, and not quite there of reaching September, but we won't be far. A couple more months of non-quarterly payments will exceed the September, and it'll take a little bit before our next quarterly probably reaches this December high. We'll see if March outpaces this or not. 2 more months, we will see. But I'm going to continue to do this, and we're hoping that we'll see this just beginning to climb, that each month will be 5,000 and above, and will continue to increase. So we're seeing what our projection for 2026 will be. Right now, we're at $5,204. We got 11 months to go. So at this rate, we got a nice head start on last year. And this over here is our cumulative of all the years of payments. We're going to be keeping track of that as we add each year. That's the portfolio of the income portion. Those that watch the channel, this is what we have. What are your thoughts on the funds that I shared? Which ones do you like? Which ones are you like, I can't believe you're holding that still, dude. Get rid of it. And which ones are you like, I can't believe you don't own this? Share that down below. I take a lot of your advice. I'll do some research. If nothing else, I do videos on them for you guys. But I like sharing these monthly of my income portfolio for you to see where I'm at with what I own. Obviously, if I had more money, I'd buy a lot of things. There's other funds I like. There's Funds I'm looking into, GOF is one I've been looking into. GPIX, GPIC, those are two I've been looking at. There's so many. I could tell you a list of them that I'm looking into, but I don't want to be so diversified. So this is where I'm at right now. I'll make some adjustments as time goes on. Again, what are your thoughts on this? Do you like me sharing these videos? If so, please hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you next time on Simply Money.